Liverpool against Chelsea in the Premier League this weekend. One of the games of the weekend. It's live and off the ball on Sunday from 4:30. I'm delighted to say Gareth Roberts of the Anfield Wrap joins us now on the line. Morning, Gareth.
Good morning, boys.
Thanks a lot for taking our call. Of the 5 games left, obviously, Gareth, it looks like on paper this is the most difficult one for Liverpool. So if they get this done, if they win on Sunday, does they win the league?
No. I think the way we've got to all be looking at it is the old cliche of game by game. And obviously we've got to see what Manchester City do as well. I think it could be a huge weekend, as you say, in that it's a massive game. Chelsea are traditionally a tough opponent for us. We've got history against them, of course. They've got a good record at Anfield. They spoiled the party last time when we thought we were going for the title. So we're looking for a bit of a revenge on that score. But also, you know, City going to Crystal Palace is huge as well. I think Palace potentially keep them honest and potentially beat them. And obviously, if we beat Chelsea and they lose to Palace, then the whole thing's turned on its head, and Liverpool are leading from the front and favourites to win the title again. But right now, we've got to rely on City tripping up and get through what is a very, very tough match.
Yeah, and maybe there's a different kind of a pressure if that eventuality was to crop up post this weekend. Looking at some of the narrative around Liverpool, obviously, has been that they've scraped through a couple of games and maybe been lucky. I mean, there's no maybe about it in certain games. But on the flip side of that, there is a mettle about this Liverpool side. If you look at some of the recent results between last month and this, if you know, behind early against Burnley last month, and obviously go on to crush them in the end. 1-1 with 10 minutes to go against Fulham. They ground out the win there as well. 1-1 at added time, obviously, against Spurs, dig out the win. 1 down against Southampton last week. They've had their moments, but the evidence of this team, Gareth, is a team that not necessarily that panicked, I would say.
No, not at all. And I think a lot of that comes from Virgil van Dijk. I think the way his calmness that he's brought to Liverpool has spread right throughout the team. And what you're seeing now is a very mentally strong team. I remember when Jurgen Klopp first came, and there was a game against Crystal Palace, which we lost at Anfield. And it was the game where he complains about fans leaving, because basically a goal goes in and everyone went, oh, that's it, it's done. Walked out the ground with 80 odd minutes gone. And he said, we should decide when games are over. And, you know, he wanted people to get behind the team. He wanted the mentality to change both on and off the pitch. And on the pitch that day as well, you saw shoulders slump, you saw heads go down. And the mentality wasn't right when he arrived at the club. I think now you're seeing the complete opposite of that. They all believe in themselves. They believe they can get results. And I like the attitude of them. I think at times they've got a bit of a, to use a Scouse phrase, they've got a bit of a cob on with the national media when they've been asked, you know, are you bottling it? Are you losing it? And they're like, no. Why aren't you asking these questions of Manchester City? And I think they're right to do that. You know, as you say, they've kept on coming back. They've won 6 on the spin now. And I think the way some of the media has talked about the title race, I'm a Liverpool fan, but it comes across slightly biased. You can turn the internet on any day and you see a poll, will Manchester City win the quadruple? No one's talking about Liverpool winning the double. And yet Liverpool are right there. Liverpool are got 1 foot in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Liverpool are right at the top of the Premier League. I haven't seen a single person in the national media or at the top of the media talking about Liverpool winning the double. I've seen everyone, it seems, talking about Manchester City winning the quadruple. And Manchester City lost in the week. So, you know, I think there's a bit of Klopp's generated a bit of a siege mentality. The fans have as well. I'm really enjoying it. That's the way it should be. It's a fight. It's a battle. Let's go and do battle again on Sunday against Chelsea.
Gareth, is there anything to be said for the theory that the Bayern Munich performance was actually the one that kind of turned that mini slump back on its head? Because they seem to have played in the 2 legs against Bayern Munich and even the first leg against Porto. They kind of found that freedom again, that maybe the pressure of the title race, not that they were bottling it, but that maybe they just couldn't play their best stuff in the Premier League, that the pressure was becoming a factor in Anfield and on the team's performance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been strange, the Champions League, in that respect, in that it's felt a relief to go to those games. I think we all really enjoyed ourselves against Porto because it wasn't fraught, it wasn't tense. And that's mad to say when you're in the last 8 of the European Cup, but it's because everyone wants the title so much, because it's been so long since Liverpool last lifted it. And here we are with a great chance to do it. And when it's coming to the Champions League, it's a bit like, well, let's just enjoy ourselves. And I think if Liverpool go out at any point and don't go all the way and don't win it, I think there'll be less of an outcry from fans that compared to normal, because I think what we've got to say about Liverpool is that whatever happens this season here on in, they've done fantastic. You look at where they are in the league with, I think it's 82 points now. And that ranks right up there in the top 5 seasons Liverpool have ever had in the Premier League era. And we've still got 5 games to play. You know, the most points Liverpool have ever got in the Premier League era is 86. Then it's 84. Liverpool are on 82 and can potentially finish on 97. So everyone's got to be saying this has been a superb season for Liverpool and can get even better. And you're right to highlight the Bayern Munich game in that, again, the narrative around that was annoying. You know, it was, Bayern are gone, Bayern are shot, Bayern aren't what they once were. Liverpool go there and win at one of the best stadiums in the world, at one of the biggest clubs in the world. That team then go and batter Dortmund and are in place to win their league. Again, there should be more credit because credit is certainly due.
Mo Salah, obviously, I mean, you talk about one of Liverpool's greatest seasons of all time, I suppose. Mo Salah is not necessarily having, particularly the latter half, his greatest season. Obviously, did break the duck against Southampton, hasn't followed it up against Porto. How important is it in the context of Liverpool's run-in that he can harness some of that momentum from the Southampton game and score again this weekend, particularly against Chelsea? Yeah,
absolutely. I think again, though, you know, he scores 44 goals in his debut season for Liverpool. That's phenomenal. That's up there. You know, he was getting really close to Ian Rush's record that you've just had on there. He was the record goal scorer for Liverpool, scored 47 in one season. Mo Salah nearly breaks that record. And then he scored, I think it's 21 in all competitions this season, which is still outstanding. So he's gone from phenomenal to outstanding. There is no crisis around Mo Salah. And as you say, it did feel like he got something off his back by sort of scoring against Southampton. A fantastic finish as well. He misses one in the week, but I still nevertheless think, you know, Mo is contributing and has been all season. I mean, mentioned the Munich game earlier. His assist for Mane in that game is world class, but it doesn't get talked about as much because it's not a goal. I think as well that, you know, Mo and Mane have been brilliant this season, but what's gone under the radar a little bit lately is the form of Firmino. He's been absolutely brilliant week in, week out for a while now. And I think he could actually be the key player at the current time. There's a lot of focus on Mo. There's stats out there that show he's been tackled more this season than last season. And again, we've still got a big chunk of the season to go. So he's being targeted by defenders. You know, managers and defenders aren't daft. They know what he can do. They've been doubling up on him. They've been getting stuck into him. And that's contributed to his goal return. But what it's also done is created space for the other lads, and that's why you've maybe seen Sadio Mane shine a little bit more. But yeah, Mo Salah is our absolute best is a huge credit to Liverpool, obviously, and we hope he's on form for Sunday.
Should he have been sent off during the week?
Sorry?
Should he have been sent off during the week?
No, I'm not having it. No, I'm all right with it. I think he was honest when he was going for it. And look, it's another one of those where everyone's watched 1,000 replays and decided that he should have been sent off. But in the context of the game, in the run of the game, it was fine for me.
Your prediction for the weekend?
I'm going to go for an extremely tight game. Look, Chelsea are a good side. They've got a good record against us as well. Eden Hazard, obviously in fantastic form at the moment. I think it'll be very, very tight. I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool.
If I gave you a draw, would you take it? Is that a huge dent in Liverpool's ambitions?
I think it would be seen as, and I almost can't be bothered around the fuss that it would create. But personally, yeah, I don't think a draw is the end of the world. I think City will still drop points, will continue to drop points. Really encouraged by the fact that they lost to Spurs. I had a feeling that, you know, that triple header against Spurs would be a problem for them. I still think Palace can be. I still think Burnley can be. I still think Man United can be. So, yeah, a draw wouldn't be the end of the world, but I think, you know, for the momentum, for keeping the media quiet, for keeping us happy, I want the victory, obviously.
One thing to ask you about before we let you off, Gareth, it looks like from some reports in some of the papers this morning, Liverpool are about to sign the biggest deal in Premier League history, bar none. A New Balance deal, obviously due up at the end of the season. Adidas and Nike, both in the running, it seems, had been worth a cool £45 million a year to Liverpool with New Balance. It looks like it's going to be more now than the £75 million a year deal that United signed with Adidas in 2014. This looks like monster stuff for Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, it's good news. Look, I mean, you know, money never excites me as much as football. But I think, we're in the modern day, and football clubs have to do what they do. And I think the commercial team at Liverpool, the financial team at Liverpool, I've done much better than Liverpool I've done in the past, to be honest. I mean, there's been plenty of mistakes made in the past, I think, around Liverpool, around commercial deals. And we've seen Man United get huge ones and wondered why that couldn't be us, because Liverpool have got a huge reach around the world. I think if this deal gets signed and it's the rumoured figures, then rightly so, really. That's sort of the going rate for a club the size of Liverpool. And I think the New Balance one, it's ran its course. It doesn't sound like they've got the kind of money to compete with the likes of Nike and Adidas. So it looks like it's going to go that way. And fantastic if that means a bigger pot for Jurgen Klopp to go out in the summer and strengthen this side once again, then good news.
Gareth, thanks for taking the call.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks a lot. Gareth Roberts of the Anfield Wrap joining us on this Friday morning. We've had Powernator in touch on Twitter about the Liverpool finishing on 97 points potentially this season and it being a superb season. I know the superb season winning nothing, but hold on, great hugs all around.
Well, it's the old question of, like Mayo have played incredible Gaelic football to get so close to Dublin over the last few years. Probably good enough to win in All-Ireland in any other year, but like what Liverpool have to do this year is quite extraordinary to win the title, and anything shy of that, and they won't.
Yeah, and we'll see that game is live on Off the Ball and News Talk this Sunday as well. Liverpool up against Chelsea.